What's up, Pizzaholics? Today we are at Joe and Pat's. We're about to go eat one of the world's most unique pizza and one of the best. Let's go eat. All right, guys, I'm super excited. We're waiting for the pie here at Joe and Pat's. I've reviewed their vodka pie before, but I never reviewed their standard margaritas. I love their menu. They have their story on the back, the Joe and Pat's story. The Papalato family, Giuseppe and Pasquale, came from Bosco Trecasa in Naples to Staten Island, and they opened up Joe and Pat's in 1960, and here it is, the original location. Here it is, guys. They give you the paper plates on the bottom. Look how thin, guys. Oh my Lord. Now that is how you spread cheese to the edge of the crust, folks. That is how you do it. Look at this, guys. For a thin crust, it's really pliable. And that's why I love it. It's not like a tavern style, you know? How do you like that, guys? Huh? That sauce is amazing. Amazing. You taste nothing but pure tomato. No paste, no sweetness, no sugar from anything. Just tomato. The sauce is nice and runny. That's how I love it. Chunky, pulpy, and runny. Guys, some crust you toss aside, and some crust you eat to the last crumb. All right, guys, let's move on into the lab we go. Let's analyze the one and only Joe and Pat's, guys. Let's start with that crust. Paper thin. Paper thin. This is as thin as bread can get without being called a cracker. Unlike tavern style, which is really cracker thin and it cracks when you bend it, this is pliable. It doesn't crack when you bend it. Look how thin it is, and it still remains nice, pliable, with somewhat of an airy center, believe it or not, guys. Despite how thin this crust is, it still retains a certain airiness. Now, you know I'm not a thin crust guy, but when you do thin crust like this, I'm in heaven. And you know what? Nobody does thin crust like this. I've never encountered a place that does. Except for right here, guys. Old Joe and Pat's. That wonderful bitterness from that char goes so well with that naturally sweet tomato sauce. The pizza's cooked with basil, and it really hits you. It's nice and pungent. It's not that dull, bitter basil. I can't say enough for that sauce. Look how bright that is, man. Bright. You can see tomato seeds. You know how much I love when that sauce and cheese is spread to the very edge. Yep. This pie's getting some plus points for that. Look at the striations in that fresh mozzarella. The pizza has cooled down. It's never plasticky. Some of that cheap mozzarella, that fresh mozzarella that they use on some pizzas, when it cools down, it turns into plastic. Not the case here. Still very rich and milky. The oven is a gas oven. Believe it or not, it's an upside down slice. Joe and Pat's is an upside down slice. They're margherita, sauce on top, cheese on the bottom. The distribution's pretty good throughout, but every so often you'll encounter a slice where there's mostly cheese, but it's just one slice. For the most part, very good sauce distribution. Also, the cheese to sauce ratio, perfect. And the cheese to sauce dough ratio, also perfect. As thin as it is, it's never weighed down, and it's not skimpy. A lot of thin crust pizzas, they don't put a lot of cheese on the pizza. Not the case here, guys. There's an abundance of not only cheese, but sauce on this pie. All right, guys, it's about that time. The pizza gets cold. We give it another fold, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. And here we go. A little flop this time out. Little flop this time out. It is a pretty heavy pizza for a thin crust after all. But does it retain its crisp? Yes, it does. All right, so what are we going to score Joe and Pat's? Well, I rated their vodka pie an 8.9. I'm going to rate this pizza an 8.9, even though I like this type of pizza better than a vodka pie, obviously. You get the sweet sauce, whereas the vodka sauce is more of a creamier and saltier sauce. This you get the sweetness, goes well with the char. I didn't detect any grated cheese on it, but it was a salty pizza, so it's possible that there was some grated cheese on it, because it did have a little salty kick to it, you know. That cheese was phenomenal. It was delicious. I'm going 8.9. That's what I gave the vodka pie. 8.9. In the end, it is still a very thin pizza. You know, there's no exotic cheeses on it, but the crust is phenomenal. But in the end, it's not in the nines. It's knocking on the nines door. You know what I mean? But I can't really see it as a 9 pizza. It's too much of a snack. You know, this pizza's like a snack compared to you know, DeFara and John Zablica. But hey, a legend. 8.9. Come on down. Joe and Pat's, the one and only. There's nothing on earth like it.
Oh, yeah.
Don't ever leave Joe and Pat's without getting their mussels marinara. It's to die for. So take that trip, cross that bridge. I am telling you, you will never ever have a pizza like this anywhere. Joe and Pat's is like Sally's. It's one of a kind. And the rest of their food is pretty good. Don't just try their pizza. Try their other stuff. And remember that $11 special on Mondays and Tuesdays. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, hit that like. This is Antonio, signing off.